Today I want to discuss EUC safety. Now I want to start off from the very bat and say that I am in no way an EUC tech or expert, guru, any of that. The video I bring to you today is solely based on my limited research online and my very limited experience in these last couple months that I've had one. So if anybody out there that's knowledgeable about EUCs and sees this and sees anything inaccurate, please feel free to correct me because I'm not here to be right. I'm here to be safe. So we all know about the main kinds of crashes, right? You got the high-speed cutout crash, the wobble crash, and I'm sure there's a miscellaneous category of just dumbass crashes, right? But one that I haven't heard of, which is what I think happened to me, is the low speed. Well, first off, usually these other crashes require a moderate amount of speed to take place. But there's another crash that I don't think people talk about so much, which can happen at a very low speed, and it's the tilt angle cutout crash. Okay, so I ride a Kingsong 16S. It's got a top speed of 22 miles per hour, and from the factory, the tilt angle tilt back or cutout is set to 40 degrees, and that's not a lot. Now I'll do a little demonstration with the wheel off to show you what I mean. And this really is only a threat if you're riding in soft mode, which most beginners would be. I am. When you're riding in hard mode, the pedals tend to stay level and you get more response out of the wheel when you lean forward or backward or however you accelerate. In medium mode, you get a little tilt from the pedal as you lean forward and backward. In soft mode, you get more tilt from the pedal as you lean forward and backward. And with a 40-degree tilt angle limit, that's not very much. What happened to me was I was going very slowly, under 10 miles an hour. It had to be about 6-7 miles an hour, and I went to tilt. And I also believe that part of this crash was due to the environmental dangers. It was a very uneven surface I was on, rough road. And my tilt angle collapsed the pedal, and the EUC cut off on me. Dislocated shoulder, torn rotator, bruised kidney. Yeah, that shit hurt. I was fucked up. Now, also, it cost me my 360 camera, damaged both lenses. Another camera that was in my bag, a lens broke on the Sigma 16mm that I use so often for most of these videos. It was a very costly crash, not to mention the fucking pain. I couldn't even tie my shoes, bro, for 2 weeks. It took me before I could tie my shoes again. So EUC safety is a big deal. I mean, this was affecting not only my personal life, but my life at work. I still had to take my black ass to work, hurting like a motherfucker, all scarred up and shit. And we all saw, what the fuck? Goddamn Zoom came on. We all saw, well, if you fuck with me, you saw my first crash. I'm not talking about that crash. That one was kind of funny, a little comical, you know what I'm saying? I put the little music to it, hee hee ha ha. Not this one, nigga. That shit fucked my shit up. Now, even at that low speed, and let me just reiterate, I was fully geared. I was fully geared, so it could have been worse. I was fully geared, had the full helmet on, elbow pads, wrist guards, knee pads. So I didn't suffer a lot of road rash. The back of my hands, because I wasn't wearing gloves, got bashed up. But it was mainly that motherfucking impact, nigga. My shit still hurt right now. Right now. My shit still hurts, son. Now, I'm not even sure that this is something that would even happen often because it appears to me that most EUC riders, they start out with a bigger wheel, which I think I should have. Now, in retrospect, I think I should have started out with at least an 18 or a 20 and went ahead and spent the money instead of being cheap. I think I should have went with a larger wheel, not only because of the stability and features and sometimes suspension you get on there, but also for the higher speed, because there's another factor that comes into play here that doesn't involve this particular crash, but I think is noteworthy when it comes to EUC safety. Is for especially for new riders, and I don't hear other riders talk about it a lot, and it's your cruising speed. When you first start riding, your cruising speed will be extremely low. You know, it'll be probably about 7, 8 miles per hour. But the more comfortable you get, depending on how often you ride, your cruising speed will gradually increase. And you may not notice unless you're paying attention to your speedometer on an app or a smartwatch or something like that. But you will see that as your confidence and your skill increases, so will your cruising speed. And this is something that you really need to be aware of and take note of. And I think practice, practice, practice is the best advice that I can give to any new riders. Because when you think you understand this machine, it's going to teach you that you still have a lot to learn. I mean, personally, I blame God. If it wasn't for the tilt angle cutout, then God pushed me. That's what it was, because there's no fucking way I should have fell, bro. That nigga was like, bitch, and just pushed me off my fucking EUC. In front of some kids. I fell in front of a bunch of people, man. You know what I'm saying? Not only did I fuck my shit up, it was embarrassing as fuck, nigga. Hurt and shamed. Jump back on that bitch with my tail between my legs and roll home like, I hurt myself. Sat in this bitch looking like a motherfucking abused puppy for like 6 days. Man, my shit was fucked up. But oh yeah, what I meant to say, as your cruising speed increases, so will your need to be aware of environmental dangers, traffic, that kind of thing. Uh, I urge you to not push yourself, and I urge you to not push your wheel beyond its capabilities. Stay within the parameters of safety above all else. If you think you want to go faster, invest in a bigger wheel. Don't try to push your wheel faster than it's meant to go. Uh, uh, but as far as getting back on the wheel as far as getting back on the wheel goes, it was tough at first. It was a little sketchy at first trying to get back on the wheel and feeling as if I could trust the wheel to hold me up because I crashed at such a low speed. I did make some adjustments in the app. I increased my tilt angle, made sure that all my gauges and speedometer and all of those settings were proper. The alerts that I get. Also, be aware of the uh, safety margin between your cutout mile per hour and your alert beep mile per hour. If it's only 1 or 2 miles per hour, which it is on default in the app, then that's not a lot of room to compensate. If you want to back off, you can surpass a few miles an hour very quickly on one of these things if you get too overconfident. And I know you see these guys zip zooming around and doing these races. That shit is amazing. I love it too. But we ain't those guys. Us new riders need to be very safe if you want to keep riding and being able to ride and be a smarter rider in the future. I think it all starts with safety. You know, even as bad as that crash was, as much as it cost me in pain and the painful financial process of restoring all the shit that got broken, uh, it was never a question whether I was going to get back on and ride again. It was just a question of how I was going to ride, and respect for the capabilities of the wheel that I'm on, I think, is number one. You know, so I've been on it again, man. And we rode downtown. We took a day and shit. I rode like 8 miles. We went across the mud island, went on the bridge and shit. I got a little bit of that footage. I'm gonna B-roll it up here. You know what I'm saying? And cue it up. But even now, I find places where I can practice going around obstacles, my turn in, tight turns, wide turns, both ways, backwards. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I feel like practice, practice, practice is what it's going to take to be able to respect this machine in a manner which will be the safest. And still, even when you become an expert rider, you still have to watch out. You know, right now these machines aren't regulated, but knowing Big Brother, Uncle Sam, Big Papa gonna start regulating this shit in a few years. You probably gonna have a license to ride one of these motherfuckers now that they're going 90 miles an hour and shit. But either way, man, y'all be safe out there. Ride on, ride safe, and don't be cheap with your equipment. Go ahead and spend the money to get your safety gear, helmets, and all of that shit. And that will, I think, facilitate a much more safe and comfortable riding experience for you to grow and learn. Cause right now I still don't know shit, but I ride the fuck out this motherfucker. I ride it to and from work, and it be cold as fuck outside. But I even rode it in the rain a few times. You just gotta be careful, man. No matter what, be careful. Know your limitations.
It's caught in the crossfire.